So my name is Natalie. I'm from Spain, and I have the pleasure to make interviews for James Mason, because the interviews and the little movie we're making is about his life. And I was told I should talk to you. Could you tell me your name, your full name?
My name is Jaime Marques.
Yeah, Jaime Marques, but you don't speak Spanish.
No.
That is funny. Okay, like I have a Polish name and I don't speak Polish, so we're doing fine. And you were born in San Francisco.
I was born in San Francisco.
And where did you meet James?
I met James through Barrios Unidos, back somewhere around maybe 89.
89, so this is a long time.
It's been a while.
What was your function by that time? Why did you meet him?
Well, I came up to from San Francisco to help with the earthquake recovery efforts in Watsonville.
Oh, okay.
Because that was the time of the earthquake.
Your what?
That was the time of the earthquake.
Yeah.
The big earthquake.
Yeah.
For us, the big earthquake.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't get how you connected.
well, I came up. I was working, doing some earthquake recovery work, and then because of the work I've done in San Francisco in the mission, the activist work that I did, I hooked up with Barrios Unidos. And
Okay.
Jim Mason had a relationship with Barrios Unidos. And then I met him through just different activities and meetings and just events, and then he was driving the bus. So
He was the bus driver.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the story about the bus? I just saw the bus standing out there.
He was an excellent bus driver. Not only was he a bus driver, he knew about the bus. He knew about what needed to be repaired, when it should be repaired, the maintenance schedule, and he was open to teaching people how to drive a bus. So one of our relatives, Theo, he taught him how to drive a bus, and he eventually worked in that field, driving bus.
And he became a bus driver.
Yeah.
That is funny. And how many people learned from
I almost became a bus driver.
And why didn't you?
I think it was timing, but I always liked the idea of driving the bus. In the old days, I drove a big truck,
Right.
you know, and I didn't have a license for the truck, but I drove it anyway. They let me drive it, deliver stuff, I think it was oranges at that time. But I always just thought about driving a bus.
Now the bus is a storage place, I saw.
It's not a temporary storage place.
But you can't,
It's still
you
a
can't
bus.
drive it anymore.
Maybe fix it.
Or maybe James should
Yeah,
fix it.
yeah.
We should talk
That's
to
a
him.
project.
That's a
Yeah,
project.
yeah. I'll work with him on that.
How many hours did he spend on a daily basis in that bus, people driving around?
Well, I was working on a program taking young kids up to UCSC, and he was the bus driver.
Okay.
So we pick up the kids, take them up there, and they'd have programming up there. They'd learn about computers, and they'd learn about art, crafts, things like that. And then after that, he'd drive us back down to
How
Barrios.
old were the kids?
They were elementary
Elementary.
age.
Getting crazy. Elementary means
Elementary
10,
school, 10, 11.
Okay.
Well, some
and
younger.
Did they like him?
Oh yeah, he was always pleasant. He was good. He was funny.
Was
Like-
he making fun with them in
Yeah.
the bus? Yeah.
Yeah, he always had something to share, knowledge to share, music to share, got stories.
So, if I would ask you to describe him to a third person, what would be 3 words you would use to describe James Mason?
Big heart,
Big heart. I heard that several times now.
big heart. Caring,
Caring.
fun to be around.
Excuse me?
Fun to be around.
Fun to be around.
Always, he always seemed to have a story that was interesting to tell.
Yeah, he does.
About
I
his
mean, this
life,
man,
about
you know,
music,
You know
about
how old he is?
no,
He's 89.
89.
There's a lot of stories to tell.
That's a life experience, you know.
Yes, absolutely.
And he's still moving around, and
Anything impressive you remember with him? Where you were thinking, oh my God, I can't believe that. Or what he did, any action he did, which was surprising?
I don't know if I would say surprising. I think just him to continue to inspire people to do their best, be their best, to be involved in a movement to make change, to bring about social justice, to address the inequalities and injustices within the society
Right.
that we live in, but he did it in a good way. He does it in a good way, in a compassionate,
Has there
understanding
been
way.
ever any racism in Barrios Sonidos?
Racism,
Yeah.
meaning?
Yeah, between problems for race within the group with the children or the youngsters.
Be a little more specific. What do you?
I see very different people here, very different races. And in 2 days, when I was talking to somebody and asking, is this a white person, I was corrected by them saying to me, it's a Caucasian person. I come from Europe. We don't do this differentiation. So I was thinking, why would I be corrected if there's a deeper meaning to this? Like a Mexican to me is white too.
So ask me the question again.
Is there any racism within the children or the youngsters in Barrios Unidos?
As long as I've been with Barrios Unidos, I don't see that. I think Barrios Unidos is an all-inclusive organization. And there might be individuals that come through Barrios Unidos that if they did and said something like that and we became aware of it, then we would address it in a good way,
Yeah.
in an educational way, in a way of helping to that individual or individuals to understand that, what our mission is,
Right.
which is an inclusive mission. Historically, as a people, we've all worked together in some way or some level. For me, growing up in San Francisco, I mean, and in my family, there's different races.
How many?
How many?
Yeah.
I don't know how many, but we covered the rainbow. I have black, I have white, I have Asian, I have Middle Eastern, and we're Native American.
That's the United States, because in
So
my family we have.
when you ask me about my name, Jaime,
Right.
see, you assume that I speak Spanish,
Directly,
or I
of
should
course,
speak Spanish.
yeah.
No, instead of why not? That name was given to me.
Right.
It was given to me by friends
But you
because I
said your
grew up
name
in
is James Marques.
yeah, James
So
Marquez.
Marques even invites me more to
Yeah,
think
but
you
Marquez.
speak.
But if we understand history, and Marquez, just like other names, is basically a slave name.
Marques?
Sure. It's a name that was given to people who were under certain rulers within California. Marquez was one of the main rulers
Yeah, I get it.
in the United
It is the
States.
title,
Yeah,
Marquez.
yeah. So anybody under that that area or working within or working for that individual, you became a Marquez. You became property.
And now I know why they asked me to do these interviews, because my stepchildren, they're called Marques, Ore Marques.
Sure.
And we would never make that connotation. It's just a Spanish name.
Yeah.
But here it's different.
Yeah, and see, I'm not from Spain.
Yeah, exactly. It's totally
I'm
different.
not from Spain.
So there's a lot to learn about American history.
Sure, the American history that hasn't been taught, and it isn't
Do
in
the children that come here learn about this, about the different races and the history of California, or do they all learn it in school?
Well, we have a certain teaching, and we do share, and we come from different backgrounds, and we come from different knowledge, and we share that knowledge. We share the truth, and if the truth is that America, is a country that has been occupied, by foreign nationalities that have imposed their culture and language on us, then it's only right to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, because that's part of our culture. That's part of our where we come from, and it's part of our healing, and the sense of understanding where we come from, what's been done to us,
Yes.
and what we need to do in order to be respectful and honor our traditions and our people and the struggles that our people have gone through and are going through. You know, I think that's important. So it's part of who we are, our history, that we must teach it.
So it would be wrong to say that you are a Native American. You are an American.
Well, America, when we look
But you
at
know
America,
how I mean it.
well,
You know how I
let
mean
me
it.
say this. I'm not sure, but where America is, we have North America,
Right.
we have Central America, we have
Right.
South America.
So you're a North
So,
American.
no, we're American.
And all the others
Okay.
that
See,
came
see,
in.
whoever divided it up,
Right.
you know, just who.
Now, I mean,
yeah.
you are an American, and all the others that came in should have the prefix. You shouldn't have it. The
Well,
Germans that came in should have German American.
they can call themselves what they want to call
Right.
it. But, you know, when you talk about a dominant culture
Right.
that imposes their culture on other people's culture and doesn't allow other people to be who they are
Yeah.
and that speak their language and to honor their ancestors and their origins and have their cultural ways, whether it's their music, their dancing, their teaching, their stories and all that, when that is not part of the people or the teachings in this land, then there's, I think, something wrong with that.
Yeah.
I think it's not healthy for
What's
the
your
nation.
tribe? What's the name of your tribe?
My mother's side is a Blackfoot Comanche. My father's side is Comanche and Apache. Yeah, so that's who we are. But I'm sure that we're more than that.
Yes.
You know, and because there's a lot of our culture and our history that we're still discovering through our relations, our relatives, our cousins, our aunts, our uncles, that are still around.
Yeah.
And that getting back together and connecting with them and finding and hearing the stories of their parents, their grandparents. That's where I'm at.
If you could give James a wish, what would you wish for him?
Just wish him the best that can be given, and the love, all the love that you know can be given, because he's a great person, and we're honored to have him in our life and to have spent time with him and shared laughs, talks, meals, music, you know, and just the space. So it's really,
It's a good-hearted man.
yeah. So I wish him the best. Wish him, you know, all the love and health, happiness.
Thank you.
Thank you.